So we got a call that there's a reptile species that I never thought I'd ever own that's available to go pick up. And by available, I mean Aria decided, the zookeeper at Wickens Reptiles, that we're gonna have this species of reptile. So we're gonna go to the shop. The shop is closed today, but it doesn't really matter because they want this thing out of there and they need to give it a good home. So this is the story of Doug. There's a lot of reptiles in this world that I said I'd never get, and some of them I end up getting. And one of the ones that I said I would never get is gonna go into this enclosure right here, which is a 4 foot by 4 foot by 2 foot enclosure, which is still not big enough for, I don't even know how I'm editing this. I probably already showed you what it is. So anyway, this is Doug. This is Doug, and Doug is a green iguana. And basically green iguanas are an animal that are not great for beginner keepers, but they're really cheap, they're really easy to find, and it turns out when you give them to somebody to take care of, a lot of the times they don't do it correctly. Now, I'm not saying that's how I got this guy, but I did. It is a rescue situation. And iguanas have wild claws. These things are sharp. They're definitely gonna get cut tomorrow when Aria shows back up. And he's in really bad repair because these cheeks should be freaking huge. He shouldn't have hip bones that are sticking out, and his tail shouldn't be limp like this. So we made a temporary enclosure for Doug that's better than what he was in for the last year or so, maybe more. And this guy here is gonna have an outside enclosure. Next year, I think we're gonna make the tortoise enclosure a little bit bigger, a little bit taller, and he's gonna be able to cohab with some redfoots, which I've seen at zoos all around the world. And because I live in a place where it's so darn humid, we're gonna give him basically what is Florida for 4 months. It's as hot and humid here as it is in Florida for 4 months of the year. And then he's gonna be able to have a nice inside enclosure next year as well. But for now, we'll keep an eye on him. We'll get him back up to health. This is Doug, the iguana. So we're gonna put Doug in his enclosure. You can see he's got a fat belly, which means that he's eaten recently, but you can't hide the fact that he hasn't been eating properly because this is just really, really sad and unfortunate. And you know he's a male because he's got the dewlap there, ow. And he definitely needs his claws trimmed quite a bit, but we're gonna put Doug back and hopefully he can enjoy his nice hot spots. I'll tell you what, it's freaking warm in here. So why did I go ahead and get an animal that I said I would never get? Also, sorry about the echo. We're renovating the reptile room, so next week it'll look totally different. If you want to see a reptile room tour, it's already shot. You don't have a choice. It's coming. Either way, the point is, I got a green iguana because I thought it was time. I wasn't ready before. I've said all these things before about green iguanas and they're bad pets and blah, blah, blah. And for most pets, for most pet keepers, I should say, they are. But I think I'm ready. I've got a staff to do it. I've got the right enclosure. I've got the UVB. I've got the heat. I've got the diet down. They eat the same thing as my redfoots do, as my other iguana does, which obviously is a different species. Diamond eats the same. So it just makes sense. It's in place and it works for me. And I think that it might work for you if you go ahead and get a rescue as well. So there's some reasons that you'd want to rescue, even though I don't think it's right for everybody. First of all, it's cheaper. Right? If you want to go ahead and get a brand new sulcata tortoise, which is a great example of an animal that there are tons and tons and tons of. We did a video last week about reptiles under $100. They're under $100 all the time. Now, if you get one, let's say in a part of the northern US or in Canada, where they're more expensive than somewhere like Arizona or Southern California, well, of course, it's going to cost more money to buy from a breeder or a reptile show or whatever. But you're gonna find them in rescues. And I understand that there's not reptile rescues everywhere like there is in Arizona and Southern US. I understand that. But with that said, even here in Canada, I've seen sulcata tortoise. Well, one time I saw a sulcata tortoise and it was $100, right? Normally they're like $550, $650 here. Leopard geckos, bearded dragons, even if they're missing toes or part of their tail, if you know what you're doing, if you know how to take care of a special needs animal, this is a perfect opportunity to get that species that you want for a discounted rate, even though it's not perfect. But who cares? If it's a pet anyway, who cares if your bearded dragon is missing 3 or 4 toes? It's gonna act just fine. You might need help shedding, but you're gonna be able to do that because you're gonna watch videos or read articles on how to do that, which is really not that difficult in the first place. And sometimes it doesn't cost more than a few extra bucks in order to take care of an extra reptile. And you can pay with that with your Ridge wallet. Do you see this thing? Of course you do. How could you not see this amazing hyper lime? That if you're looking for the best gift for the holidays, I am so sick with bulky wallets. I've been using Ridge forever and I like the vibrant color too. It's simple. Everybody needs a wallet. Why do you want one that's this thick when you can have one that looks like this. It holds up to 12 cards. They come in a bunch of different colors, including the new ceramic colors, which I love. The Hyper Lime is my new favorite, absolutely amazing. Has a cash strap or a money clip on the back to hold your cash. RFID blocking, so no one's coming up to your pocket, boop, boop, to steal all of your stuff. If you don't like the Hyper Lime, it comes in over 30 colors. And if you want something matching for your everyday carry, get the key case. This is the Hyper Lime key case. Holds up to 6 keys. I put 2 in mine all the time, put them in my pocket, and I never even know it's there. Doesn't create a bulge like every other wallet I've tried. 3 million customers served, 80,000 5-star customer reviews. Not that many people can be wrong. It's got a lifetime warranty, and you can try it out risk-free for 99 days. Ridge is the cat's pajamas, let me tell you. So shop the holiday season by going to ridge.com/WWR and get up to 30% off through December 20th. And if you use my link, you can enter your email or SMS for a free chance to win a Ridge bundle worth $4,000. No purchase necessary. Did I mention you can get the new ceramic powder wallets and also this Hyper Lime? Unbelievable. Thanks, Ridge, for sponsoring today's episode. Let's get back to the video. Not only that, but it's a good forever home, or maybe not. Maybe you want to be a foster. Have you ever thought about that? Becoming a foster for reptiles? This is something where it's, a little bit risky in that you have to make sure you quarantine properly. So just quickly, there's a video right here all about quarantine. But when you take in a rescue animal, you don't know where it came from. A lot of the times it was neglected. Sometimes if it's a snake, it has mites. Sometimes if it's an animal like Doug, it's underfed and just in really bad repair. And maybe it has a respiratory infection or something that's contagious to the rest of your collection. So obviously this room, there's tons of reptiles in here, and Doug is not really in here. Sure, he was for part of a video, but I'm talking about for 2 seconds, he never touched anything. So it's okay. I checked him for mites. I checked him for, he's fine. He's good. If he has something that is going to be an illness that's going to be spread, he's in a different room by himself, not around other reptiles. But if you foster animals, sure, you'll need lots of room for quarantining different animals, but of course, this is a good deed. This is something good for you to do because you're giving animals that need a home immediately a home right now, and then you can go ahead and find a forever home if that's not going to be for you. And unlike with dogs, there's no stigma around foster fails. I think there's a stigma about foster failing with a dog that just means you foster a dog but end up keeping it. That happened to me. I got Nellie, she's mine now. It was supposed to be a short-term thing. With reptiles, nobody cares because reptiles don't form a bond like a dog does. I know someone's gonna say, well, my bearded dragon always comes to, yeah, you're the food machine. That animal does not love you the way a dog loves you. Like, their brains are not hardwired that way. So there's lots of great animals that you could get. Red ear sliders or many different turtles are great examples of animals that, are going to be, I think last week's video really ties into this one. If you haven't watched already, it's right here, where they're under $100. Red ear sliders are free all over the freaking place because nobody wants them once they get to 10 inches or however big they get. They see something small, it gets big. Same with a sulcata tortoise. And what the heck do you do with it? Now you don't have room for it. You don't have the means for it. And that's why people get rid of them. That's why fosters or rescues are even a thing in the first place. Normal ball pythons, leopard geckos. People's situations change. So we have to be, thinking about that. We have to be sensitive to that sometimes people get animals and then they get sick, they lose their job, whatever. It's really not their fault. So I'm not trying to condemn people who have to give up animals. It is what it is. That happens sometimes. Life changes. Life moves. But if you're in a position where maybe you have, a couple extra bucks for some extra salad and UVB and an enclosure, maybe you want to take in that bearded dragon that's missing half its tail and one of its feet because nobody else wants it. Maybe you're the right home for that. Maybe you want to foster it and give it a home immediately so that it doesn't get euthanized. There are lots of reasons why you take in rescues, and for Doug, I just felt like it was never the right time to get a green iguana. He was the perfect fit for me, and I'm really glad that I have him. So that is the story of Doug and why I think you should think maybe about fostering animals. Thank you so much for hitting like and subscribe. If you want to see more videos like this, I would love to take a break from the top 5s. Let me know. If not, I can do that too. Let me know in the comments. Thanks so much to the Patreon supporters. You guys get videos early, discounts on merch, all that and more. And for as little as $1 a month, by the way. Oh, and because I do videos on Mondays and Thursdays, that means I'll see you in the next one.